Good morning, good evening, and good night, my terrible listeners. You're tuned in to Terrible Sex with Naseem. I'm producer Dan, and each week I have the honor of bringing you registered nurse, aspiring sex educator, polyamory enthusiast, and true woman of the people, Naseem. She tells us stories, answers our questions, and helps us feel more comfortable around our world's infinite variety of sexuality. Send questions and comments and especially voice memos to Naseem. This show's best when you get involved. Contact info is on her website at terriblesexwithnaseem.com. Hey, Naseem.
Hey, Dan.
How's it going?
It's going great.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Well, I'm also doing pretty darn good. We just got back from a walk to the ice cream store, so how could I be bad?
Oh, nice. Very
yeah,
nice.
real wholesome.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
I am in the process of buying a car.
Ooh.
Or trying to.
Yeah, I hear those are cheap and easy to come by these days.
Oh, so cheap and easy with such low interest rates. That's not true at all. If you know anything about the current market, it is a shit show for buyers. And I've never actually purchased a car on my own before.
Whoa.
I know, I'm 35 years old and I've never bought my own car, like, by myself. I've always had, like, help doing it, or it was, with another person in their name too, so this is, like, big step for me.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm doing,
You're growing up.
I know, I'm growing up in reverse or something. So it's going well. I'm looking around, trying to figure out what I want, what I need. I sold my car that I had prior before coming to Chicago. So now that I'm leaving and going to a place that doesn't have public transportation, I need a vehicle.
Yeah. The gal's got to get some wheels.
Yeah, even if it's just a beater with a heater, I need something. So hopefully I can do better than that, but we'll find out.
Indeed we will. What are you looking at? Have you test driven anything? Where are you going? Tell us all about it. Who's got a car for Naseem?
Come on, people. I'm looking at, I want something that is going to last me a while, something with good engineering. So I'm looking at Hondas, Toyotas, Mazdas. And yes, I know I'm from Michigan and like car capital, like Ford, GM, Chevy, whatever. And no hate to those cars or those manufacturers or people who drive those cars, but that's not what I'm going for.
Man, you just ruined our chances of getting some real Detroit sponsorship, Naseem.
I know.
For fuck's sake.
As a Michigander, I'm disappointing everyone. Yeah, so I test drove a Mazda CX-3 and a Honda Civic last night. They were both used, and that's fine, but I'm so bad at, like, pulling the trigger on stuff that, like, I've gotta think about it more, and I'm like, "Oh, do I only wanna drive 2 cars?" And I'm terrible at making decisions like this. I have a hard time committing, believe it or not, to things. So
Right? Yeah, if you could just drive a different car every day.
That would be fun. I love that. I like driving. I like cars. So, anyway, yeah, that's what's going on in my world. So,
I think that sounds like lots of fun. I can get behind new car shopping. I enjoy that. New used car shopping.
yeah, my brother's been helping me out. It's like his favorite thing to do. So,
Nice.
yeah, he's been like texting me all day today, which is both very cool and very annoying at the same time. So, Dan.
So, Naseem.
I think we're going to get into it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So, quick editor's note. We did get into it, and it turns out it wasn't very good. So we're going to go ahead and jump to the questions and keep this episode short this week. I'm going to edit that part out.
I think there's a lot you should edit out.
Hey, Naseem. Do guys like it when girls moan when making out?
Yeah. I think the vast majority of people love some sort of feedback to know that what they're doing is good and they're enjoying themselves and that the person doing it is doing a good job. So, yeah, moaning is definitely a good thing. I think anyone likes it when their partner is moaning at what they're doing, even if it's just making out.
Yeah, I think that's good advice, man. You hit the nail on the head when you said it was all about feedback, letting the other person know that they're into it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of communication.
It is. Hey, Naseem, is it normal to have vaginal sex with your boyfriend and feel it in your butt? It kind of hurts, but it's one of our first few times and he's really big, especially in comparison to how small I am.
Yeah, that can happen. Your vaginal wall actually shares a border with your rectum. So if he's like really big as you describe, you can kind of feel the pressure in your ass during vaginal intercourse. Yep. Not uncommon. And it also may make you feel like you have to poop. Sometimes that happens too.
And if you have to poop during sex, you can take a time out
Absolutely.
and go to the bathroom.
Absolutely. I'm sure someone has a story where they didn't communicate that and take a timeout. And if so, I'd love to hear it.
Man, really? Poop and sex kind of freak me out. Not freak me out. Like, I know bodies are things that happen, but man, I just don't need to hear any more about it.
Well, then you're on the wrong podcast, dude.
Might be true. Next week, we're doing all poop stories.
Oh, that'll be easy. I'm sure I can find multiple people with poop stories.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. It's going to be a great one.
No guarantees that that's actually the episode, though.
Really hope not. Hey, Naseem, why do guys always grab my ass while making out?
1, because it's right there. 2, you probably have a nice ass. 3, guys like asses. I mean, do you not like your ass being grabbed? And if you don't, that's fine. You should communicate that with your partner. But it's it's like pulling you into them, right? And if they can grab your ass, it can pull you into them. And it's sort of, whether they realize it or not, I think it's their way of like hinting at, let's move this from just making out to something else. It's an escalation move.
Yeah.
Easy peasy booty squeezy.
There's the name of this episode.
There's other things we could name it.
Hey, Naseem. Me and my girlfriend had sex a few weeks ago, and now her period is 3 days late. What are the chances she's pregnant? We used a condom. We never noticed it break or anything went wrong. We both have only had sex 4 or 5 times. Please help.
I think a pregnancy test is a good idea.
Totally.
Yeah, it's hard to say one way or the other, but if she's late and she's not normally late, so if that's inconsistent with her cycle, she should definitely get a pregnancy test. I mean, condoms are great, but they are not 100% effective. So, yeah, she should get checked out.
The odds are in your favor, but get a pregnancy test. Stop freaking out. Get the answers.
I find that it's as terrifying as a possible pregnancy may seem. Not knowing if it's a possible pregnancy is way worse.
Drugstores are open 24 hours a day. Like, this question could be answered in 14 minutes, I bet.
Yeah, and they don't have to be expensive. Dollar store tests.
Does the dollar store sell drug tests?
I have no idea.
Not drug tests. Pregnancy tests.
Yes, the dollar store does sell pregnancy tests, and they are of the
Nice.
same quality as what you'd find at the hospital. So, yeah, don't be afraid to use a dollar store pregnancy test. They're perfectly safe, perfectly fine, and as accurate as they can be. So, don't think that money is going to prevent you from getting the answers you need.
No. All right. That's all the questions we got.
All right.
Let's wrap it up.
Let's do that. And so should some of you at home too. Have a great evening. Stay safe, play safe, and I'll see you next week, Dan.
Sounds good. Naseem wants all her terrible listeners to know that although she is a medical professional, she is not your medical professional. This podcast is not medical advice. If you want medical advice, please seek out your very own healthcare provider. Terrible Sex with Naseem is part of the Terrible Podcast Network.